The mission of the United Methodist Foundation of West Virginia is to help individuals and families, churches, and all of the ministries of our West Virginia Conference by raising, managing, and distributing money to expand ministry in the name of Jesus Christ. We look at our work through the general rules of the United Methodist Church: to do no harm, to do good, and to stay in love with God. So we ask ourselves the question, how does our mission fulfill the general rules of the church?
Our goals in fundraising at the foundation are not to focus on the money. They're to focus on the donors. We want to help donors find a way to make their biggest dreams in fundraising and planned giving a reality. We want to help them find the tools to accomplish their goals. We want to help them find a way to leave a legacy for ministry.
The ministry of the foundation is extremely important to this annual conference. The ministry that happens through the foundation offers opportunities for mission and ministry that would not happen otherwise. You can be a part of this exciting ministry in this conference. Through the foundation, you can make gifts individually and as a church that will live on as a legacy for mission and ministry well beyond this year. I invite you to come and be a part of the mission and ministry that will live on now and for years to come.
The foundation's going to come and visit my church to talk about stewardship. It's something that we're in desperate need of hearing as a community, not just as a church, and explore all the different meanings of stewardship. And it's great to be a part of a connection where more than one voice can be utilized to share those stories and opportunities to be shared that I can't necessarily offer sometimes as a new pastor.
It's hard to explain to people who only have what we would consider a little amount of money. They consider it a little amount. There is no amount that is too little to invest at the foundation.
So what's the connection between raising funds and staying in love with God? We find that when we can help match your needs in whatever your circumstances are with the needs in ministry, we reach a point where we really are on holy ground.
Sometimes it's hard for congregations to have hope in a future when all they can see is the present times and the financial struggle and the pressures that they experience from that. And for me, the foundation is one of the ways that a congregation can experience hope, to have a future, so they can continue to carry out the ministries that are so dear to their hearts and to the communities in which they live.
And I think the word hope can best be used here, because what hope does is it gives one a strong faith that one's desires will be carried out in the future. And among the things that you want to do is to make sure that money is used in a moral way to carry out one's commitment. And I am just so proud of what the United Methodist Church Foundation does to bring hope to people. Hope was brought to me when I was 18 years old and received a scholarship from an individual that I did not know. And now I see the United Methodist Foundation bringing hope to other individuals in future generations.
One of the hallmarks of the foundation is that it practices socially responsible investing. In making its choices to either invest in a company or not invest in a company, it's making a secondary choice. And investors are able to know that their dollars are not being used to support, say, the tobacco industry, or the armament industry, or other companies whose primary product is used in the production of war. The foundation is then able to tell them that their investment responds to John Wesley's first general rule, to do no harm.
Investing at the foundation is not only about what we don't do, it's also about what we do. A portion of the funds invested at the foundation are invested in positive social impact funds. Those funds create microloans for communities, some of them right here in our annual conference, so that they can do good work in their community. So while the foundation's funds are doing well and earning a good return, they're also doing good and doing good works.
Practicing socially responsible investing makes good business sense. In fact, it's not just good business sense, it's good heart sense.
Since that original investment in the irrevocable trust that they set up for us, we put approximately $980,000 into that fund. We set it up so that 10% of the fund always went back into the principal, and that the interest on the fund would be distributed 10% into an emergency fund, and then 60% to Glenwood Park, Burlington, and Beckley, and then 40% to the general population of our annual conference for grants. That money now almost exceeds $2 million, of which we have distributed $1 million. That means our agencies have received approximately $600,000, and that the church in general for their grants have received $400,000. Now, where they would have got that money if Virginia Higgins hadn't established this trust, I don't know.
One of the greatest assets that the foundation has is the confidence, meaning that individuals who have given to the foundation, individuals who have knowledge about the foundation, have such confidence in the foundation on the goodness that they do for other individuals, on their effectiveness, on their efficiency, on the manner in which they accommodate people. That's one of the things that I'm really impressed about. I knew about it by reputation before I became a board member, and all the good things that I heard was just reaffirmed after I began serving as a board member.
Distributing funds is the heart of our ministry. We're not raising funds to build up the foundation, but to put that money to work for the transformation of the world through the ministries and churches of the West Virginia Conference.
Donors and churches who make contributions to the foundation or who establish trusts at the foundation are in complete control of how the distributions are made from those trusts. We work with them to plan for the future so that unnecessary burdens aren't placed on the church by restrictions that may not make sense in 50 or 100 years.
We hope endowments will help create an environment where some of our ministry will not have to be focused on maintaining buildings and paying off a mortgage. That if that's all taken care of for us, then we can really focus on some of the ministries that we take part in our local community, especially ministries like Under the Bridge, where we collect food and clothing and blankets and distribute to homeless people underneath the Juliana Street Bridge here in Parkersburg.
Scholarships transform lives by offering a people to have education that they might not have access to otherwise. When the foundation provides scholarships for education, for seminary and for colleges, it helps transform that life in a way that they are able to come back to our churches and come back to our communities to positively contribute to the building of God's kingdom and the betterment of society.
The mission projects have a unique relationship with the foundation, and it's a great relationship. Recently, the mission projects realized that we needed to get some resource out to the conference that just explained the basics of what we do, where we are, who we minister to. And the idea of a video came up. And we looked around at each other, the mission project directors, and said, well, how can we get this made? And it dawned on us, the foundation, our rock. And sure enough, the foundation was agreeable. We received a small grant from them to produce the video, and it has been received so well throughout the conference. We had 300 copies made and presented at an annual conference, and they were gone before that session let out. We were thrilled with the results.
We make sure that the recipient of every distribution we make knows that the financial support is a symbol of something much bigger and much more important. That is the support and love of the Church of Jesus Christ and the saints who have gone before us.
The Foundation is a ministry that supports the conference in a variety of ways. Looking ahead, I anticipate that the ministry of the Foundation will continue in this conference by providing expanding opportunities for stewardship, education, and leadership development in the area of planned giving. I also anticipate that the Foundation will continue its ministry through the distributions and grants and scholarships that it offers. Also, in looking ahead, I anticipate that the Foundation can help support the conference in local and global efforts by providing matching grants or challenges for efforts such as combating child poverty and the global health initiative called Imagine No Malaria.
Since 1974, the United Methodist Foundation has been serving individuals and families, churches, and the other ministries of our conference. We hope you'll consider the possibilities of the ways we can serve you.
The United Methodist Foundation of West Virginia, helping United Methodists discover a Wesleyan way of living. Consider the possibilities.